Hi.
Hi, Runda. Could you please turn on your camera?
Yes, I'm working on it. Okay. Hello.
Hi, how
Um,
are you?
I'm good. I am just checking everything out. I know I'm just making sure everything works because I don't think my session is until 7 my time.
Yeah. Welcome to
So
the
do I need to
Global Virtual Summit 2025, Rhonda.
hang on one second? I'm getting a little reverb. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. I was just checking out all the equipment, everything. I just wanted to make sure everything worked. So I'm good to go, but my session is not until 7. So do I need to get out of this backstage area?
Yeah, Rhonda, before going to your session, I would like to introduce you to our audience.
Oh, but my session is not until 7. Should I wait? I have like 2 more hours.
Yeah. Do you want to continue your presentation now?
I don't think so. Is this my session?
Yeah, you can proceed with your presentation.
Oh, I thought I wasn't for another 2 hours. Okay, let me grab it. There's people in there waiting. It is just a fluke that I'm actually on here. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm getting on. Okay, Melinda, so should I just start?
Yeah, before going to your session, I would like to introduce you to our audience. Yeah. Rhonda Palmer is an executive coach dedicated to helping high achieving women lead emotional intelligence, align teams without experiencing burnout with over 30 years of experience in leadership development and expertise in behavioral analysis. She integrates neuroscience, strategy, and empathy to drive lasting results. Her signature is EASE framework: engage, align, simplify, empowers leader to foster trust, enhance clarity, and lead with intention through her work. Rhonda transforms team tension into trust and help leadership become a powerful asset. Her approach is both strategic and deeply human centered. That was a fantastic bio, Rhonda, and stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Melinda. Well, I just want to say thank you. I see there are 79 people in here, so welcome to everyone. Again, my name is Rhonda Palmer, and just quickly about me, I have a 31-year career in public education. I recently retired, and really since COVID over the last 5 years, I have already been coaching other people outside of education. So when I retired, it just became a natural transition to start a business and leadership coaching consultation group. So I have several people working with me, and our focus, our main mission in life is to meet as many people as we can and help them overcome any leadership challenges. We truly believe that leadership is not in a title or any kind of role. It's how you lead others, how you act, and how you inspire, and how you bring people along and have influence. So just like John Maxwell says, people don't want a perfect leader, they want an authentic leader. So when we lead with authenticity, we build trust, we bring people along, we let people know we're not there yet, we're all learning together, and we're creating a platform for true trust where we can continue to build each other up. So I'm going to just jump in while I'm sharing the screen. I would love it if y'all could put in the chat what type of industry you're in. Are you in a nonprofit? Are you in a small business, a corporate organization? Are you an entrepreneur? Do you have your own organization? And I'd just like to get a quick poll that way while I'm sharing the screen. And I hope that y'all can see the chat results. So hello to everyone. And then I would love it too. It's just very interesting. I'm from Houston, Texas in the United States, and I love this international platform. So I would love it also if y'all could tell at least some general geographic information about where you're from. And I will share the screen. Now, as Melinda mentioned, I do have a framework that we use to help people build their leadership benches. So we're thinking whether you have, maybe you're a one-person organization and you have contracted out virtual supports, or you have contracted people who come in and just work a little bit at a time on certain projects, or maybe you're a small organization, you have 8 to 20 employees, or maybe you're even a big corporation or a nonprofit with lots of people, either volunteers or paid staff. We look at ways that we can help our vision come to reality. All the time, a business owner or an organizational leader is faced with this challenge of helping their vision come to reality. And the problem that a lot of leaders have is they try to do everything themselves. So we help leaders figure out ways to trust themselves and trust others and look at their team, whether it's a virtual team, a volunteer team, or a paid staff, as assets. And how can we multiply our impact by leveraging the skills of our team, and think about it in terms of strengths based. So I will give you a quick story, a real quick story. A man that I'm working with named Robert started out in the banking business as a teller. Well, he did a great job as a teller and people loved him. He had great customer service relations. He would always smile, engage with people. He was very honest and helped people make sure they had the right operations every time they came to the bank. And so sure enough, he got promoted. He then became the director of all the tellers, which was amazing because then he could share his skills with all the new tellers. So he could train them exactly what with the skills that he knew were very beneficial to the bank customers. Well, it didn't take long till he got promoted to loan officer. And then again, you know where I'm headed with this. Now he's head of the loan officer. So he is the executive director of all the loan officers. Now, if you follow this story, this happens in every industry. We see a person who's really good at their role get promoted up and up and up. And they get promoted because they have outstanding skills and they have good relations. They're good with people in their role. But what they're missing when they get promoted is how to lead others or how to manage humans. And so now he's in a place where he has a lot more responsibility, a lot more direct reports, and he hasn't learned to manage that side of it. So he's trying to do everything on his own. Well, he happened to see one of my surveys that I put out on social media that's like a self-reflection. How are you in your, in a scale of 1 to 10, how burned out are you? And a lot of people don't admit that they're burned out. Someone else tells them they're burned out. But workaholicism is real. But anyway, Robert took this quiz, and one of the questions was, how often are people in your family telling you they don't see you very much anymore? And that struck a chord. He has twin daughters that are in high school. And he told me that's what made him call me. So he told me that he would make a point to eat supper as a family at the table 2 or 3 times a week. deliberately would make a point to do that, but he didn't engage with them. They would say, "Hey, Dad, how you doing? How was your day?" Or he would ask that and then wouldn't even listen to their answer. He would immediately go to his phone or check emails or whatever. So once he became aware of that, we set some things in place to help him set boundaries and begin to trust others, delegate a few tasks out so he would not be overwhelmed. So the thing I'm going to show y'all today is the EASE framework. It can work in any situation, in any organization. And I just invite you to try it out and give me a call or email me or hook up with me on social media and let me know how it's working for you. So I'm going to share screen right now and we'll talk about the EASE framework. You will love it. Here we go. So this is my method, and we've used this for several years. It just helps people have a system. Lots of times when people get promoted to leaders, they already have, like I mentioned before, they already have a lot of skills. They already have a lot of charisma. But how can we give them a structured system to stay on target and on task? So let's take a look at what our EASE stands for. All right. Again, this is a comprehensive roadmap. It's going to help small businesses launch and grow. It's built on 4 pillars, and I do have tools and templates and strategies to help implement. And I want you to think about this in terms of every single task that you have to do as a small business owner. We've used this in the banking industry, with museums and nonprofits, in schools, trucking companies, tax accountants, all kinds of different industries have used this. And lately, the reason you're going to see a bunch of airplanes in this one is we just had a meeting with a bunch of guys who franchise for mechanic work and detailing work in the airline industry. So you'll get to see all the airplanes there. But anyway, the 4 basic pillars are engage and evaluate. That's your E. Align. We're going to talk about aligning our actions to our values. Simplify and scale. We want to always simplify our processes. And then empower to elevate. So if you are in the chat, I appreciate your participation. And I would just like to know right now, 1, 2, 3, or 4, which one of those is most intriguing to you. So we make sure we stay on time and I can spend the most time with the ones that y'all like, that you're interested in. So engage, align, simplify, and empower. Otherwise, we will get right into it. All right. So if you think about, well, here they are again. It's just a different way, just a different way of looking at them. And we want to think about in initial business strategies, how do we engage and evaluate our essentials? And this is what we call laying a great foundation so that you have a common vision, a common vocabulary, and that you're training everyone in your organization to carry that flag. Everyone becomes an ambassador to help make that vision come to fruition and become a reality. So here we go. We're talking about some common things. You've heard them before. It's nothing new. We're just repackaging it to make it easy to implement. So we're looking at mission, vision, and core values, any kind of legal compliance, financial systems that need to be set up, looking at, especially in the United States, you have got to have a bank account with your name on it. And then what kind of record keeping will you expect? Is it going to be a monthly operating report, a quarterly report, an annual report? And then the cultural design. What is going to be the feel of your company? What communication strategies are you going to use? And we want this to be here as an intentional act. So many times, what I found with those guys that have the mechanic shops and the detailing shops for the airline industry, so many times guys will say, "Hey, I'm really good at this." Guys or girls, it doesn't matter. And they'll go out and get some business cards, open up a bank account, and boom, they have a business. And that's true, but if we can be intentional about how to grow that business and what things to set up, they're really going to set up for success. The problem why most businesses fail is they don't have enough exposure and they don't have enough systems put in place where people can predict what's going to be happening with that business. So Just an example of some of the tools that we offer here at Leadership Executive Group, we could help give you a business model, a compliance checklist, and then a culture audit. And every one of those tools is also set up with, guess what? An ease system. And during that, when you're looking at those tools, you would receive a rubric that shows you where you'll be able to self-evaluate. Where are we on this scale of either beginner or all the way up to proficient? And then if we're not at proficient yet, what are some coaching tips or some reflective questions we can look at as a team to figure out how to move up where we're a little bit more proficient? And the way I like to say that you're proficient is this, you're just going to rate yourself 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. With 1 is, I barely know what that word even means. And 3 or 4, depending on the scale, is I understand that so well, I could teach it to others. So that's just an easy way, even in your organization, if you're trying to get a status of what people know, that's a good way to rank it. Even if you just do 0 to 2. 0 is, I know nothing about that. Maybe I've just barely heard the word. Or 2, I know that very well. I can teach it to someone else. You always want to get a feel for what your staff or your organization, what your organizational knowledge is. And the rule of thumb is that 85% of your people know exactly what you're talking about so well that they could teach it. Because really, your people are your best salesmen, whether they call themselves a salesman or not. The way they speak about your organization, even if it's a nonprofit, they're the ones who are selling that. I'm going to be working with a Chamber of Commerce here in the next few weeks, and our whole goal is to get our group of ambassadors, they're all volunteer positions, is to get them so confident in knowing what the goals and the mission of the Chamber of Commerce is, that they're the ones going out and recruiting new businesses. So I'm just using that as an example for y'all. Now I'm going to stop for a minute. We've just talked about E, engaging and evaluating the essentials. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat about that. All righty. Well, we're going to keep on moving on then. Seems y'all are doing a great job understanding. Here's one of our airplanes. But the A stands for aligning your people and processes. And we want to think about hiring the right people, having standard operating procedures. Not necessarily that you have a big old manual for everybody, but you at least have an online guide of what people can expect. What are the clocking in procedures, or how do they get paid or reimbursed? What are the materials or tools they're supposed to use for onboarding? How do they know the policy for sick leave? Any of those kinds of things, you want to make sure they're very clear for other people. This builds confidence in other people that work with you. And when they're confident, they're clear. And when they're clear, they're happy and they can contribute in a way bigger than you can even imagine. So we're also talking about having those clear roles and responsibilities and an effective internal communication structure. Here's something I'd like you to remember. This is something somebody taught me a long time ago about communication. We want to think of this in terms of, let's say what we want people to know 7 times, 7 different ways. And I know that sounds a little crazy right now, but what kind of communication channels do you have? Do you use a WhatsApp group message? Do you have some other internal platform? Are there emails or text structures? Or is there a phone chain to let people know what's going on? Are there internal memos emailed to everybody? And then what's the 2-way communication process? Do we have regular meetings where people feel valued and heard and noticed so they can communicate back to the leaders? Those are things that need intentional thought about how you'll do that so that you have an outstanding organization. Now, somebody who might just have a small organization like detailing airplanes or cars might think, oh man, I'm too small. I don't need all that. It's not true. You even need a communication structure for your customers. What are the expectations that you'll have for communicating with your customers? Let's say it's a car detailing organization, company. You want to be able to have a standard communication process where when you're finished with the car, you bring the customer out, you open up the doors and you let them see it, and you ask them how satisfied they are. That way you get a survey, a status right away. You're checking in with them before they even drive off so you can know how satisfied they are with the job. and you're giving them a chance to give you feedback that you can take to either improve or validate what you're already doing. So again, it's looking at some intentional practices to strengthen your organization and your leadership. Again, I've listed some of the ideas there that we have that our organization uses to help people develop these practices, like a standard operation procedure tracker. What are the different things that you would need an operation procedure for? What are the team role cards? We literally have an ease system for developing leadership roles and responsibilities. So everyone in the organization understands who does what and who to call for what type of problem. Onboarding checklist, and then a weekly meeting agenda template. I would like to go over this a little bit with you because it has to do with some of that internal communication structure I just mentioned. It's really only a few questions, and we do have an ease template for it. You're welcome to email me at hello@rhondapalmer.com to ask me for that. But it really just starts with saying, what great things have happened over the last week or since the last time we met, if you only meet every other week or every other month or every month. What great things have happened? So you're having a chance to celebrate, and you're intentionally taking time to think about things that are going well. And then you ask people, where are you stuck? Is there anything going on where you're stuck that anybody can help you? Either anybody in this room or do we need outside resources to help you? And then the last question is, what do you commit to doing before we meet again? Those three questions. It's not a punch list. It's not a full agenda of all these kinds of things. This weekly meeting agenda is designed to have great conversations, let people contribute, let them understand. So it's those three questions. What great things have already happened? Where are you stuck, and what resources do you need? And what do you commit to finish before we meet again? Just wanted to share that with you. So we've gone through E and A. We're moving on to S. This is where we simplify processes and we scale. So we can have sales funnels or automation, strategic marketing plans, financial tracking and forecasting, and streamlined customer journeys. I always say it is the leader's role to help simplify things for everybody, from your employees to your customers to people who are telling your story. How can you, and if you're not doing it as the leader, you're ensuring that it gets done. So you're tapping on the shoulder of people in your organization or customers to help tell that story, to simplify whatever it is that you're trying to make sure people know about. So again, here are some of those tools that we use. The main point here is that anything we can do to simplify our processes only strengthens our organization, because people don't find it too cumbersome. They feel they can jump in and help with whatever's going on in whatever area. And finally, E, empower and evaluate and elevate. The whole goal here is to sustain momentum, that you as a leader, as I mentioned before, it's not your role. And you want to encourage everyone to act as a leader. That is to notice what great things are happening, acknowledge it, inspire and motivate others to continue to contribute in meaningful ways. We are all here for a reason, and some of us don't know our purpose yet, but in general, we're all here to help one another. However we can help serve with our natural gifts, that's what we're here for. If we think about our innate gift, the thing that to us comes easy, other people might look at you and see you doing something and say, no, thanks, not for me. I would never do that. Like some people would never want to speak publicly, even on an online atmosphere like this. But whatever our gifts are, it's up to us to use those. And as leaders, whether you're in a leadership role or not, as a leader, it's your job to help others find their gifts. So how can we recognize and acknowledge and affirm those who are doing the great things to make this vision come to reality? So we look at team celebrations. It's not just pizza Fridays or casual Fridays. It's daily things. It's minute things and big things. Did we meet the goal? Did you come in on time? Those kinds of things. What kind of strategic partnerships and collaborations can we have? For example, our local museum here for the Flight Museum is looking at different colleges and universities and even junior colleges to create new partnerships. So the students would be in class learning their aviation information, but then go to the museum to put things into place to get hands-on experience. So how can we make partnerships that are natural and keep elevating our organization to do even more and bigger things? And then again, that community presence and reputation and gathering testimonials and client feedback. So it's not just internal. How can we get that feedback from external stakeholders, whether it's through social media or having customer or client spotlights, those kinds of things. So we'll just move on and let me show you a couple of things. One of the ideas we had was a dashboard and a toolkit that would showcase all of your status of where you are in implementing different pieces of the ease pillars for your organization. And why does this work? It helps you not forget about the main pieces that you need. What are the fundamental pieces of a business? Now, this is generic, so you can see how I'm not talking about increasing sales specifically, or I'm not talking about how to clean a diesel motor or how to create a graphic. We're looking generally at building a business and scaling it with success. That is because a leader is intentional about their actions, always searching for more leaders, and encouraging and inspiring and motivating others to help that vision come to reality. That's a trust in themselves and in others. You celebrate as you go. Now, I'm going to stop for a little bit because I want to ask some questions. We don't have a whole lot of time in here, but I'm glad we've had this amount of time. And if there are not any other questions, I do have one other little thing to share with you, but I want to give a chance. So I've only seen a handful of things in the chat, and I appreciate y'all, but just wanted to double check and make sure I don't overlook a question. So I'll give a little time. Okay, well, there are no more questions, but I'll just leave you with this one thing and I'll stop sharing. Or maybe Melinda, did you already stop sharing for me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last thing that I'll share with y'all. As a leader, as I mentioned, that guy, Robert, that I meet with, he's one of our clients. One of the strategies we used with him to help him balance his own time, not get burned out, and to really use the people that he had was this 3-word strategy with some rhyming words. So see if you can follow along. It's blocks, clocks, and socks. So blocks, here's the tip. Block out your own calendar first. Go a month in advance and block out at least 1 hour a day that you will commit to just working on things that only you can address. Blocks of time are very critical. It allows you to have uninterrupted time. And if you're sharing a calendar, people will see that already blocked off and they won't try to bump you into a meeting during that time. So blocks of time is very powerful. Clocks is the second point. Clocks. Look at your clocks. 2 things about clocks. First, for self-help and for mental health, set your clock for every 45 minutes. You can do this on your watch. You can do it with a timer. You might have a sand glass in your office, but think about a way that you could easily get up and move around every 45 minutes at least. So looking at your clock, it's for wellness, self-wellness, getting up every 45 minutes, stretch out, walk, bend your legs, that kind of thing. But the big thing about a clock is the end of the day. What is your end? Be cognizant of your ending time for your day, and leave on time. This is for your mental health, your mental wealth and health, and your family's mental health and wealth. And the last thing is socks. If you think about when you get home and you kick your shoes off and you're just in your socks, it's time to relax. And we want you to focus just as much on relaxation time as you do on business. It's not reality to say that you're going to have a balanced life every single day, but in a month, can you have balance? Can you commit to your family, yourself, as well as your job? And I leave you with that, friends. I wish you the best, and I thank you for joining me.
Rhonda, thank you for your valuable presentation. It's looked very wonderful. And we have a few questions from our audience. I would like to ask you one of them.
Sure.
What's the biggest leadership lesson you have learned from failure?
Okay, that's a great question. The biggest leadership lesson that I do try to teach everybody that I meet is this is from Simon Sinek, and I had to learn this the hard way. It is to ask for and receive help. I was diagnosed with a double cancer in 2004, and it was my very first year as a school principal, and it was very hard for me to think that I could ask for help. I thought, oh, I'm the principal. I have to do everything. I have to make sure this, and this is all happening. And I'm the only one that can do it. And that's simply not true. People want to help you. They just have to be given permission or be allowed. So ask for and receive help. Don't wait till you get sick to do it.
You are really wonderful and inspiring woman, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your valuable time, Rhonda. And please stay on the backstage and join the next session.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.